All right, we are live. So I've been requested to do a live reading tonight. Um, so I've only gotten limited information. So I've asked them to go ahead and hit the request to join button when they're ready. So in the meantime, I'm just going to uh, kind of keep my thoughts clear until they get on. I, again, have not asked for any information outside of just a little bit of information that they've given me. So I will get some more information from them regarding why exactly they were requesting the live and just some more details before I go into anything that I've been receiving. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We're just waiting for them to join. There we go. Hey, there you are.
Hi,
Hi.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good.
Good.
This is gonna be fun. I'm very excited.
Yeah. I've actually never done a live like this before outside, Aaron and them. So yeah, this is new for me. So this will be our first.
Okay, fantastic.
Awesome. So I was just kind of saying before you kind of got in the room was, I'd gotten this request, and you'd asked me, to do this reading. But I wanted to let you give an introduction of yourself and then, what was going on so I could get a better understanding.
Okay, great. So I'm ROCKA. We run a podcast, myself and my buddy Izzy. It's called Dead or Dudes. We've been childhood friends for a long time now. Um, I've always felt that I've been Mr. Unlucky. I know a lot of people feel that way, but it feels like I'm always the guy right before the line cuts off or the supply runs. I'm one number away from winning the jackpot. I'm always like something's messing with me through life. I can't complain. Everything's good, family's good, life is good. It's just, it feels like there's always something hovering. Now, full disclosure, myself and unfortunately my partner Izzy can't make it today because of work, but we were about 17 years old where we were dumb, we were kids, we kind of mocked the specter, whatever we called it. We were in his apartment, no Ouija board or anything like that, but all of a sudden, this was an August hot day. It got dark. The windows, the wind picked up, and then the blinds got sucked out. And it just feels like since that day, things have been odd.
Okay.
So I've always felt maybe if I can ever reach somebody such as yourself, a clairvoyant, a medium, or somebody in a more spiritual connection, if they could just possibly see into my soul or whatever entities may be hovering around, if there is anything.
Okay.
And at the same time, if there is or if there isn't, I've always been a very spiritual person, and I've always looked for possible spiritual cleanse of some sort, or just, I don't know what the terminology would be, a blessing, um, spiritual connection. I know I've always felt a spiritual connection is something otherworldly, beyond this world. So that's just in a nutshell why I saw your account, your profile, and it kind of caught my eye, and I reached out.
Okay. All right. Well, I can tell you first off the bat, what is interesting or what comes out very prevalent was right before I received your message. I actually had gotten a visual come through and I didn't understand what the visual was, but then I got your message. And the visual that came through is the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. And the visual it was like the dark forest. And I could very clearly see what looked like the outline, of the Cheshire Cat with his smile, his grin, and, his
Right.
eyes. Um, I didn't get scared or anything. I was just kind of like, well, that was weird because I don't normally see that type of thing, but it was very clear and it was high up when I saw it. So it literally was like I was like on the underground of it, but I could literally just see the outline of what looked like the Cheshire Cat. And I was like, okay. And then right away, I saw that message in my Instagram, and I was like, oh. And the first thing it said was, "Do you do a spiritual cleansing?" And I was like, wow, okay, that was interesting. So before I go any further, is there any correlation to that for you? Because I get the
Not
Cheshire Cat, like, um, very confusing. Kind of like the Joker or the jokester, like ask me a question and maybe I'll give you the right
right.
answer, maybe I won't type of feeling.
I mean, in a kind of remote kind of way, if it's like down the rabbit hole, or um, not a direct connection, but you know, I have thought about it, not often, but just in recent times with everybody talking about getting deep dives into whatever it is, conspiracy theories, politics, social, whatever is in society, about jumping down the rabbit hole and something like that, but not nothing really direct. I would say, although I know there's like a loose interpretation of things, and I know at sometimes you can make things connect, but you never know if it's just a connection itself. That I do know of it and I'm familiar with it. If there's something, but just the fact that you had that vision and then I popped up, maybe that's sort of symbolic.
Yeah, and the reason why I bring it up is because, the Cheshire Cat, what's another interesting thing is I was getting the colors purple and pink, which, I associate my colors, with specific months. So purple was coming up pretty prevalent for February or something with the second. But then I was getting pink, like bring the color pink. Then I realized, and I'll show you, I've actually got them. Oops, as I'm not throwing them, I actually got them and put them out. And then as I started to kind of like, as I was sitting here before you came on, I'm like, you know what? The Cheshire Cat was actually pink and purple, but I didn't see the colors pink and purple. He
Oh,
was completely dark. So
oh,
yeah. So that's why I'm saying it's very interesting because everything was so dark and literally all I saw were the eyes and literally this very I don't want to say evil grin, but it was just the very, like there's something coming and, I'm not going to tell you what it is type of thing. So yeah, it was just very interesting. But yeah, but I'm also getting very prevalent. I'm getting the color purple, which again is February or the second. So that would kind of make sense too, because if there was two of you in the month of August and then there's two of you on the podcast, that could be a relation as well, unless you've got somebody passed within the month of February as well.
um, I have two children born in February.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting. Okay.
and interesting. They love the color purple.
Oh,
That's their.
well, there you go then. There's that. So that right there could be what it is. But then I've got the pink. Now we know pink, there's not a month associated with the pink, but again, girls.
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's really the main things that came through right away. Feeling wise, I am getting notions in my pinky and my left pinky, almost electric feelings. Like when you shock yourself and you get the
Right.
tingles. So yeah, I'm getting something in the pinky on the left hand. Anything going on there?
On the left hand, yes, I've been struggling for a while with actually wrist grip. Um, yeah, I've had some problems with my left. Um, I'm under some loose physical therapy with my left hand.
Okay.
That's fascinating. Yeah, there's been some grip issues in my wrist. Has I actually hurt this wrist way back in my youth playing football, and maybe that's come back to haunt. I don't know, but yes, there is an issue with my left.
Okay. All right. So that actually came through when as soon as you popped on, my left hand started to get that sensation. Now, is the sensation that you get or the issue that you're having, is there numbing sensation or sensations of, like when your hand falls asleep and then you start to get like that type of pain?
Yeah, it's more of a different position that my hand is in. Let's say if I'm opening a jar with my left hand, which I'm righty, but if I did, um, I would hurt. It would numb and kind of seize up, and then I just couldn't get grip anymore. And then I'd have to like flex it and then stretch it out. The grip issue is the real major problem with it. You know, I'm working through it with physical therapy, but yeah, that it does get numb if I were to push it.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so we've got that coming. All right, now I've got something else coming in. I'm getting bright yellow. Um, that's November or the 11th. Hold on. Yeah, it's just yellow. What's up in November?
Um, November is my anniversary.
Uh-huh.
In November.
Okay, and I'm going to the left. Hold on. Whoa, it's going fast. All right, so November's anniversary, it's higher up. It's going higher up. Oh, this is interesting. And just in case if you're not quite familiar with how I do readings, most of my readings come through with colors. I see colors. That's generally how a lot of my information comes. If I'm going to go into a channel mode, I generally will close my eyes and I can get clearer pictures. That's how the Cheshire Cat came through for me. But yeah, majority of my stuff will come through with colors. So we've got November. So I did get February and November. I'm trying to see if it gives me the actual day. So we have November, and then I have towards the first of the month, the beginning of the month. It's got a green, a little bit of green, which would give me like May or August or the 8th or the 5th. Oh, I just got hit in my chest. Middle. Pearl. What's up with Pearl? I got what?
Pearl is the birthstone of my wife, and August is the month of my dad's birthday.
Okay.
He has passed, so maybe
August has passed.
yeah, his birthday's in August, but he had passed away more than 10 years ago. But I still feel very close to my mom. Interesting. In November, I can't. I mean, this November 1st, I can't really think of it.
Pearl's coming through. Like Pearl is coming. Like Pearl's hanging. Uh, Pearl's not moving.
Oh, yeah, Pearl. Pearl is June, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or we have an association with Pearl. Or the 6th. But it's not moving. Like your yellow, as soon as you confirm November, it took off. But now I've got Pearl sitting in front of me.
Yeah, Pearl's definitely birthstone, my wife's birthday.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So yeah, it's just coming straight out.
I mean, November 1st is actually All Souls Day, right? I was born Catholic, so maybe it was always ingrained in me. I'm honestly not as religious
Mm-hmm.
at the moment, more spiritual but we were always in our family tradition visit the graves of past ones on November 1st and say a prayer and actually partake in meals with those who have passed as though they're still.
Well, what's interesting is, I've got these other colors that are coming up, but I don't mention August because you mentioned August as being at 17 when everything happened, but you do have green, the peridot, hanging above your head. Now normally my stuff, I look up to the ceiling to see my colors, but on the screen itself, when I look at you, you have green very prominently at the top of your head. So if August is the passing of someone that you're really close to, they are hanging out. Whatever this is that you think, like you're cursed, I'm not
Yeah.
seeing anything like that. That's more, it's really coming through like it's a game in the mind. So
Oh,
you let go of that thought or that feeling. You've already got protection around you. Like there's like already August is coming in saying, yeah, you might think that this is the reason, but no, because they're over you. I don't,
It's very comforting.
yeah,
That's very comforting.
I don't see anything outside of just, maybe let go of those thoughts. Let go. Whatever happened when you were 17, let go of those thoughts. Don't hang on to that. A lot of times spirit will do things to get our attention. Whether
Right.
we're non-believers, or we're semi-believers. Sometimes, we say we want a sign, or, we want that affirmation that, there is something else out there. Sometimes spirit
Right.
will come back and they'll do something very prevalent that might scare the crap out of us. And, it'll be like, I'm never going to do that again. Or they'll be very subtle in that. So just understand that spiritual wise, there's no evil in the spirit world. Once we pass, that's it. I mean, they let go of all of that stuff. There's nothing evil in the spirit world. The only evil that I have ever come in contact with is within the living. Same thing with negative energy. I'm very cautious about who I let into my circle, and I always tell anybody, that I do readings with or that I talk to, be very cautious about who you let in your inner circle. Not everybody has the best intentions for us. There's a lot of things that we can let in when it comes to bad energy, and again, it's nothing in the spiritual world; it's everything within the living. So just hold that, be just make sure that the people that are around you have the best intentions, because not everybody has the best intentions for us. And a lot of that negative energy they can bring in will start to seep through, especially if we're really open.
Right.
It's that's really my best advice I can give when it comes to thinking those negative thoughts, or thinking that something's wrong. Take a look at who's around you. Because a lot of times that's what I find is one of the biggest things is it's really like the living that's around us that is sucking all that, like, oh, like if you go to a party, or you go to a gathering,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you go in and you're like, okay, you've got all this energy, and all of a sudden you'll walk in and all of a sudden it's like, God, I just feel so drained right now, right? So yeah, it's the same thing. It's like, okay, I gotta leave because I gotta go get some fresh air.
Oh, wow. I mean, you're right. I'm glad that you provided some clarity with all this stuff. And I'm very relieved.
Yeah,
I gotta say, very relieved
yeah.
that you didn't see anything else. And I have some questions of, so in your experience with the other world, once we pass on from here, and I'm not looking for definite answers and others, but I've always believed maybe it's like rejoining a spiritual collective, and I felt in reincarnation. I believed in the fact that maybe we have unfinished spiritual growth, and that we come back for that. Not that we come back for anything else, but and also to come back in different, whatever it is, different um, genders, ethnicities, whatever, kind of get a well-rounded view. I've always felt, because I've I've heard some people who, and I don't know if you believe in this, with the past life experiences, and they go into hypnosis. And I truly believe in that, and that everyone has past experiences. And whether you subconsciously or consciously believe it, you're absorbed in those experiences. That's how you get deja vu. That's where you get some familiarity. That's how you get, in my opinion, you get some ethics. Oh, this bad happened many lifetimes ago, and I'm here to correct that. Or I know this should not go X way. We should go this way. So, I mean, how do you feel like with those things? I
Yeah,
know there's a lot.
yeah, I truly believe a lot of what you say, and the reason I say that is because, you know I grew up in a very spiritual family as well. My grandfather is a preacher. My father was a preacher. I've got a cousin who's a minister. So, I mean, and to be quite honest, having psychic and medium abilities was very taboo. Even though when I started to do research, when my own sight kicked in, I found out many generations back it was generational for us, but it was always very hush hush. We don't talk about it. It's not a good thing. I'm actually one of the very first ones in my family to actually come out and be open with it. So from what I have gathered, just with my own sight, is we always have like this, at least for me, I always had this notion, like when we died, like we would go to like a different planet, like our souls would just transcend, and we were no longer part of this world. And for me, that's not how it appears at all. Our energy, once we go, we're not gone. Like our energy kind of disperses, if you can think of it like a dust cloud, you know um, dust particles going everywhere. That's really how spirit comes to me, or how they appear. It's also how, if you're ever sitting there and you start thinking about someone who's passed and you start to get the tingles and the goosebumps, it's almost like
Yes.
in the moment we think of them, they're there, and it's like that dust particle is just a piece. That's how they can be anywhere and everywhere at one point in time. It's like that notion just comes right in. So yeah, it's we never leave. It's just, that's just how it appears to me. We just never leave. We all literally are collectively working together. But yeah, anything negative of this world, of the living world, is no longer in existence once it goes up. But yeah, it's you know I definitely believe in reincarnation, just for the simple fact that, have you ever met somebody and you've never, brand new, and you're like, wow, I feel like I've known you forever?
Yes.
That to me is like a clear sign of, yeah, there's something else here, because there's almost a connection with somebody almost immediately, and it's like you have that with some people, but you don't with others. So it's almost like, okay, I know I've known you in a past life or something like that. I don't know if believe in that, is what I'll say to people, but
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, a movie, like a movie of a timepiece, or a war, or even you walk by a piece of art and it should be nothing. You just stop and you go back. You go, there's something about that.
Yes,
And
yes,
there's some
yes.
kind of connection there. And you just wait a minute. You may not know exactly what it is. And I agree with you, because a lot of this physical world is just that, just a physical world. But there is an emotional, spiritual connection to a time, place, or a person, or idea, or entity, or something that makes you pause. It's like, wait, there's something here. There's something here.
For me, it was like when my site came up, I was kind of like in the same. I'm like, is this really, you have the feelings, but you're just like, I want to know, like, I want to see what happens to us. And it was like, it's beautiful. It's there's so many colors. I see so many colors sometimes. I'll see like the sherbet colors, and then I'll see really bright colors. Sometimes I'll see really dim colors. Sometimes I'll feel like I'm on another planet, because I'll see other worlds, different time periods, and just things throughout history that we want to know about. It's like watching the History Channel, and other people are telling us the story of these things that we want to know about. But for me, it's kind of like I just have to close my eyes and ask, is what they're telling me on TV the actual truth? And I'll actually get pictures and images of, whether what they're saying is true or not. I'll get little taps and notions. So it's the spirit world wants to tell us, like, they want to talk, they want to communicate. They're like, hey, we want to tell our story too. But it's just, we just never leave. We're all energy, and to me, it's all about what kind of energy we're going to put out when we're here. Because once we're gone, there, do we want to have the good energy? Do we want all of ourselves to go up into the universe, so that we're that one big dust particle? Or do you only want certain pieces of yourself to go up? Because I feel like, then if we're really negative people, we don't become those dust particles. It's almost like, it feels like that part just goes, like there's no more. It's like going into
Right.
the ground. But if we have really good energy and we do what we're supposed to do, and it's then we get to go up, and we get to be a part of the bigger universe. We get to be part of the one. And that's really how it appears to me, and how I see things. I was around 6 years old when I had my first paranormal experience. Um, we actually had moved into a brand new house, and the the moment we moved into this house, there used to be this smell of coffee that would come through the vent. And it was like in one vent and one bedroom. And where this house was built, there was no other houses around it. We were like at the cabin in the woods type of scenario. So there was no explanation as to why the smell of coffee would always come through. And it was always between the hours of 3 and 6 a.m. But it was like, yeah. So yeah, there was that. And then there was always sensations. I always had intuition. There was always the feelings like, the tingles in my head, which I get very, when I know spirit's about to come in, I get a lot of tingles in my head. The goosebumps, sensations, and things like that. But I never really acted on it. I was like, I just knew something was different. Like and I guess the best way to say it is, like when you walk into a room and it's only you in the room, but you feel something like you can walk
Yes.
in and you can say something, I can feel something here. Even though I know I'm the only one here, I can feel something here. That's very much how it was for me as a child. And then, of course, my grandmother is a psychic. And when I was about 8 years old, I must have done something because she turned around and she said, I think Ariane's got some psychic abilities. I don't remember what it was that I did, but she definitely, and she never said stuff like that. But whatever it was I did, she stopped in her tracks and she was like, I think Ariane's got some psychic abilities. So, I mean, and then from that point on, it was always like the empath feelings, again, very intuitive. I would just kind of like say, okay, something's not right here, or, just this things like that. So it really hasn't been until the last 2 years. It was when COVID really hit and we all went into shutdown. January
Right.
of last year is when my actual full sight, or when I'll say the veil lifted per se, and I actually began to see what I can see now.
Wow. So this is rather recent that you got like full blown spectrum, pun intended, of
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. When you think about it, we all got locked in our houses. It was like God put us all on like groundation, in a way.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of us, being that we couldn't move freely like we normally would, I mean, work basically just stopped. So those of us that were used to going outside the home for work, we ended up being remote. A lot of family time, time that we didn't generally spend with our families, suddenly we're locked in this house with our families. So I think it was a lot of inward looking too. I stopped watching TV. I found
Which is good.
watching, yeah, I found watching TV terrifying when my sight kicked in. And that was because I had a lot of energy coming through. So, I used to be a big fan of like watching the History Channel and like the Travel Channel, but I ended up finding that I was literally, and it's going to sound weird when I say it, but almost like being transported in time to a lot of what these shows were coming out with. So I had to stop watching TV because I was like, the energy is just way too much. It's just so much. So I went really deep inward and really had to do some soul searching on myself, because I was like, this is a time for all of us really to sit down and think about, all the stuff that's going on and the part that we play in it, a lot of this negativity. And that's when I go back to a lot of this negativity with the living. I had to make some changes on my inner circle, because I was realizing that a lot of people in my inner circle were not the best for me. So yeah, my biggest question was, how many marriages are going to survive after this pandemic? It's like, how many what's the divorce rate going to be like,
That's true. We got to look into those statistics. I mean, you'll probably skyrocket through
Yeah. So that was like another thing. But yeah, that's exactly it. I think it's a lot of me time. And I think once you take a hard look at yourself, you know what I mean? And just really, what are we offering to the world? What is it, what is the good that I'm putting out there? Because we have so much just crap, and I just say just crap out there right now. And it's
it.
really
Oh,
like,
yeah.
do I want to be part of the crap, or do I want to be part of the solution? And my answer is I want to be part of the solution. So that really is the answer. Yeah, I actually changed and came into the video Diary of Clairvoyant account when my site kicked in, because I was like, I would always been interested in the paranormal, but I'd never actually gotten into it. You know what I mean? There was this like, again, my gift hadn't kicked in, so I always had this fear of like, don't mess with Ouija boards. It's not a good thing, you know? And
Mm.
then when my sight kicked in, I'm like, hold up. It's not as bad as what people think it is, because how many apps do we have on our phones, right?
Oh,
That are like Ouija board apps and spirit talking apps, right?
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Brandon Nautica and all this stuff.
I know. It's like, so it's like, okay, well, throw the Ouija board thing out the window, because that doesn't even make sense. Because if that was the point, everybody would be having like poltergeist and like demon craziness going on just because of
It'd
all
be
the apps on the
Ghostbuster
phone.
City.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like, so now I guess because, I've got like this direct link, I can just look up, and it's like spirit like throws stuff out the window at me, like just throw it out, because that doesn't even make sense anymore, right? So yeah, it's I just I don't know. I have such a positive outlook on um everything now, even within the spirit world. And I think the paranormal really is interesting to me. And that's where I've made the most connections here, is I really love to go through, the paranormal groups that I've, made contact with and I'm following and stuff, because it's so interesting to watch them go into these buildings. And, before I didn't have the sight where I could see what was going on, but now I can.
Was going to say, are you now going to, is this your plan? You're going to now merge the two loves you have, travel
Yes.
and the second sight that you have, and now you can go to, oh my God, it's you would be a dream come true to hook up with a paranormal group and go to a prison, a mass burial site, a massacre site, or any bad or good. It could be good spiritual sites. It could be sites where supposed miracles have happened through, like anything, and just feel what you feel, see what you see, and just let people know. That's amazing.
Absolutely. That is the goal. Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so
You're
much.
so welcome. Thank you. You have a great evening.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.